Alright, hello everyone. We are back for another golden shot tutorial here, and looking over these holes here you can see the medium. I've not played that hole in a while, but I do know relatively good strategy for that one. This one is something from the tournament for the hard hole, and here you can see that it's the one where you hop over the bunker, and standard prizes as usual as the rewards. And from the short tees, you're usually looking at a short iron club. So let's look at the bag real quick. And you usually have to go with short iron for this. And I usually use very close to little spin at all. So here you can see 78 accuracy. I'm going to play it probably about 1.4 per ring based off that accuracy number. So that'll be my ring number, and 5 to 7 miles per hour. We're looking at adjustments of probably between 4 and 5 rings. It's probably going to be 3.75 on the short end for my ring adjustment to 5. So you want to keep all those ring adjustments in kind of a small window there. If it's a small wind, 3.75. If it's a large wind, 5 rings. And never go beyond that. So everything stays within the bullseye. One thing to note here is there is a very big hill right in the way here. Now we're all set up. Here you can see that we are dealing with a limited guide. Not necessarily the end of the world, but not the nicest thing for them to do either. So what you're going to see me do, you can see that it kind of is deflecting off to the left a little bit. So especially with a side wind like this, you're going to see me kind of set up. I'm about 4 rings from the edge here. And this is kind of my large wind case. So you're going to see me almost play the full 5 rings here. And there we're off. I didn't even touch the spin, just so you guys are aware, just so you can see kind of naturally how it rolls out. Now you might roll down this hill a little bit, so to get that inner crimson you might have to keep it short of the hole intentionally. But you can see with the limited guide, it's going to be a little hard to set up. You're going to have to think about wind effect, and with no guide is going to be your biggest challenge. But here, let me go ahead and use my Google Play gift card that I was graciously here given by one of the Learner Burn community members. So let me go ahead and re-up here and get you guys some revisions so you guys can see full well how to play these holes. Now, keep in mind that, the opposite might happen, but you're always going to need to kind of intentionally set up to the left here. You can see that the deflection, just from the natural position is kind of shifting. Now, with this tailwind, you're going to see that I'm going to start to use a little bit of spin, because I want to make sure that it doesn't roll down the hill anymore. And as I mentioned, in between 4 and 5 rings, you're going to have to be very careful with your fingers on this hole. As you can see that oh no, that great ball's really going to cost you. You might be able to get away with one to the other side, but here you can see, and let's see if it holds up. It looks like it is going to, but I might have had that ace, so that's the big difference. And fortunately I was able to stay inside and grab that ring. You do want to be very careful. You might be able to get away with a great ball to the right, because your normal miss here is going to be left, but you really want to focus on the speed. You can see kind of the rings that I'm grabbing right now are kind of away from the hole, and that's going to be very hard to change. But you can see kind of the way that I'm setting up here, kind of intentionally left. I'll only start to cheat it back in, and kind of make this my starting when I have this side wind, like you see that I'm dealing with now. And I'm definitely not going to touch the spin on a wind like this. But do be very careful of your ring adjustments in the fashion that you're going about adjusting. Make sure that that ball's very centered as well. And let's see how this looks. Here it comes over the hill. Oh, so just short of going over that hill there. And if it did, maybe I would have got that inner ring. It's really going to take a hole-in-one here to probably get that inner ring, more than likely. There's probably a small percentage chance that you can roll it inside there, but with a limited guide, might be the hardest thing. And I do want you guys to know that you don't necessarily need to add spin there, that I came up short. Just get a little bit more aggressive with your positioning. Pay attention to how I'm setting up and rotating just slightly different with my land zone, depending upon my wind. So here you can see I'm getting a little bit more aggressive towards the center of the hole here. With my setup, because I know after the wind affects it, it's going to go back towards the right a little bit. Here you can see with my ring adjustment, and just be very careful that you're not over pulling when using the take shot button. It's going to be very easy to do with a short iron of this accuracy level, as you can kind of see the way that it's going. And here you can see it come over the hill, and I'm able to finally get one to drop. So I will try maybe one more try for you guys, since I haven't wasted anything. There's a very possibility that you could make this 5 times. There's a possibility that you could make it none. In the tournament, you know, I was able to get this one, luckily enough. And here you can see I'm not getting any good cards for it anyway. Something that I already had maxed. So kind of just the luck of the draw there. But let me go ahead. I'll take one more chance just to show you just one more ring position, since I haven't wasted any shots. But if I don't get it, you know, I'm just going to kind of just settle for this. It's really not a big deal to me. But here you can see, you know, the way that I'm going to start setting up is a little bit more right, and maybe a little bit deeper as well, because it's not going to quite carry. So here you can see I'm within 3 rings now of the edge. And the same similar fashion, you know, be very careful with that ring pull. Make sure that you're not over. Use the 4 circles, the 4 arrows in the center to kind of guide you for when you go about doing that ring adjustment. And here you can see that it comes up over the hill. Oh, just short. So again, you know, the same similar fashion, you can just get a little bit more aggressive with your setup. You don't need to add topspin. I really don't recommend the topspin method in any situation, because it's just going to come in with maybe a little bit too much momentum rolled down the hill. And, you know, all you have to do is cheat it a little bit closer to the rough more and more. You can see that my initial land zone there wasn't the best. But I'm going to just split this guide up real quick. I'm going to jump over to this medium, and if I can clear these very rapidly, I'll come back and try to get that last one, since I finally wasted one shot. But you can see with following my method, if you can kind of use that ball guide, you see that's going to be the most trickiest part, because it's so limited. You can't even see where it's bumping over top the bunker. So it stops at the bunker. You have to do a lot of imagination yourself. But you can see I didn't miss right once. So that should explain something to you about how hard it is to actually get it over there right enough. So I do want to stress that important. But, you know, maybe watch my video just once or twice, and it'll give you a very good, you know, if you watch all the shots there, a very good idea as the positioning of what you need to do, and just kind of those minor tweaks as the wind direction just alters slightly. So good luck there with that hole, guys, and I'll catch you guys in a moment here for the medium hole.